Before we begin, I want you to take a deep breath in and out. Let go of whatever thoughts are running in your mind right now. For the next hour, this is your time, a time to focus on you, a time to reconnect with yourself, a time to remember who you truly are. This book is called The Victory Within because too often we spend our lives focusing on everyone else. We focus on pleasing people. We focus on fitting in. We focus on their opinions, their judgments, their expectations. And in that noise, we lose the most important person of all, ourselves. But here's the truth. You cannot win in life until you focus on yourself. This is not selfishness. It is self-awareness. It is not arrogance. It is alignment. Because when you grow, everything around you grows. Through these chapters, I will share with you stories, lessons, and reflections that will help you tune out the noise, protect your energy, and move closer to your goals. Some stories are from famous lives. Others are everyday stories of people who refuse to give up. But every story has one message. You already have what it takes to win. All you need is focus. So, are you ready? Then let us begin the journey. Chapter 1. The Mirror Principle. Look at yourself first. There was once a man who owned a mirror. Every day he looked at it and complained, "Why is this mirror always dirty? Why does it never shine?" He wiped the glass again and again, but the dirt remained. One day, someone told him, "The mirror isn't dirty. Your face is." This is life. We spend so much time pointing at the mirror, blaming the world, blaming people, blaming circumstances, when the real work begins with us. The mirror principle is simple. If you want the reflection to change, you must first change yourself. Michael Jackson once sang, "I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways." The lyric is simple but profound. True change begins only when we face ourselves honestly. Think about it. How many times have you said, "If only my boss was kinder, if only my parents were supportive, if only my friends understood me, then I could succeed." But the truth is, even if they changed, nothing would shift inside you unless you did. Let me share a story. There was a young man who dreamed of becoming a writer. Every time his work was rejected, he blamed the publishers, saying they didn't recognize real talent. One day, a mentor told him, "Stop blaming the mirror. Improve yourself until rejection has no choice but to turn into acceptance." That advice changed his life. He began refining his writing, learning from feedback, and pushing his limits. Within years, he became a best-selling author. You see, when you focus inward on your skills, your discipline, your mindset, you gain power. When you focus outward on blame, on complaints, on excuses, you lose power. So I want you to pause here and reflect. If you had a mirror in front of you right now, what is one thing about yourself you would want to improve? Is it your consistency, your patience, your confidence? Name it. Whisper it softly. Because the moment you admit it, you begin to own it. Repeat after me. I will stop blaming the mirror. I will start working on myself. I am the beginning of my change. Remember this. You cannot control the reflection until you control the source. Focus on you first, and the mirror, the world, will shine back brighter than you ever imagined. Chapter 2. The Noise versus the Voice. Imagine this. You are standing in a crowded marketplace. Vendors are shouting. Music is playing. Hundreds of conversations surround you. In the middle of all this chaos, your mother calls your name. But you can't hear her, not because she isn't calling, but because the noise is louder than her voice. This is exactly what happens in life. The world is noisy. Everyone has an opinion about what you should do, who you should be, how you should live. But your inner voice, the voice of your truth, your dreams, your purpose, is quiet. Unless you focus, you will miss it. The noise of the world says, play it safe. Don't take risks. Fit in. But your inner voice whispers, take the leap. Trust yourself. You are made for more. The noise of the world says, you're not ready. You're not enough. But your inner voice says, start now. You are enough. Let me tell you a real story. When Elon Musk began building Tesla, the noise was deafening. Experts laughed at him. Critics said electric cars would never work. Newspapers called him crazy. But Musk chose to listen to his inner voice. That quiet vision inside him was louder than all the external noise. Today, Tesla is not just a car company. It's a revolution in the auto industry. But this doesn't just apply to billionaires. Think of your own life. How many times have you wanted to do something? Learn a skill, start a business, follow your passion, yet you stopped because someone said, that's impossible. That's not for you. You'll fail. That was noise. And sadly, most people let the noise of others kill the sound of their own dreams. Here's the truth. The noise will never go away. People will always talk, but you get to choose which voice to listen to. The noise outside or the voice inside. So I want you to do something right now. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a breath. Think about one dream you have been hiding, one thing you deeply want to do but have silence because of others. Hear that voice again. It is still there, waiting. Now repeat after me. My voice is stronger than the noise. I trust my inner voice. I choose my truth over the world's noise. Remember this. The crowd is loud, but victory belongs to the one who listens to the whisper inside. Chapter 3. Protecting your energy. Energy is like currency. You spend it every single day on people, on work, on worries, on dreams. But here's the truth. Some things give you energy, and some things drain it. If you're not careful, you will spend all your energy on the wrong things and have nothing left for yourself. Think about your phone. Every night you charge it. You protect its battery because you know without energy, it's useless. But what about you? Do you recharge yourself? Or do you let anyone and anything drain your battery until you are running on empty? Let me share a real example. There was a young woman named Maya. She had big dreams of becoming an artist, but she kept surrounding herself with friends who mocked her goals. They laughed at her painting, saying, "You'll never make money with that." Every time she left them, she felt smaller, weaker, drained. Then one day she realized, why am I letting people who don't believe in me control my energy? She walked away. Slowly, she found people who encouraged her, supported her, and with her energy protected, her creativity exploded. Today, Maya sells her art across the world. Here's the lesson. Protect your energy like it is treasure, because it is. So how do you do that? 3 ways. Guard your circle. Some people are fountains. They uplift you, inspire you, fill you with life. Others are drains. They gossip, complain, discourage. Spend more time with fountains. Limit your time with drains. Protect your focus. Every notification, every distraction, every unnecessary drama steals a little of your energy. Ask yourself, does this deserve my attention? Or is it wasting my power? Recharge daily. For some, it's reading. For others, it's prayer, meditation, exercise, or simply silence. Recharging is not a luxury. It is survival. Here's something powerful. Oprah once said, "You cannot pour from an empty cup." And she's right. You cannot serve the world, build your dream, or win your battles if you are empty inside. So from this moment on, I want you to promise yourself this: my energy is sacred. I will not waste it on people or things that don't build me. Say it with me. I protect my energy. I recharge my soul. I choose people who lift me higher. Because here's the truth. When you protect your energy, you protect your future, and only then can you truly focus on you until you win. Chapter 4. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is like a spark. It feels good. It fires you up. But like a spark, it fades quickly. Discipline, on the other hand, is the steady flame that keeps burning even when the spark has died. If you want to win, stop chasing motivation and start building discipline. Let me explain. How many times have you watched a motivational video, felt unstoppable, and said, "From tomorrow, I'll change my life"? And then, the next day, you hit snooze, skip the workout, or fall back into the same habits. That's because motivation is an emotion. It comes and goes. But discipline is a decision, a habit that stays whether you feel like it or not. Let's look at real life. Do you think athletes train only when they feel motivated? Number, they train when they are tired, sore, and uninspired. That's why they win medals. Do you think writers only write when inspiration strikes? Number, they sit at the desk daily, even when the words don't flow. That's why books get published. Motivation may start the journey, but discipline finishes it. Here's a powerful story. Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest basketball players in history, was once asked why he trained at 4 a.m. every day. He said, "Because while others are sleeping, I'm working. By the time they wake up, I've already trained twice." That wasn't motivation, that was discipline. And that discipline made him a legend. But don't think this is only for athletes or celebrities. Take a student preparing for exams. Motivation might push them to study for one night. But discipline, the habit of showing up daily, even for just one focused hour, is what guarantees results. Or think of saving money. Motivation might make you save once. Discipline makes you financially free. Now, how do you build discipline? 3 steps. Start small. Don't aim for a 2-hour workout on day 1. Start with 10 minutes. Build the habit first, then grow it. Stay consistent. Even on bad days, do a little. It's better to show up at 20% than to quit at 0%. Consistency beats intensity. Remove choice. Stop asking yourself, "Do I feel like it?" Discipline means you do it whether you feel like it or not. Feelings follow actions, not the other way around. Let me give you an example you'll remember. Motivation is like brushing your teeth only when you feel like it. Discipline is brushing your teeth every single day because you know it's necessary. Which one will keep your teeth healthy? Exactly. So here's the truth. Don't wait for motivation. It's unreliable. Instead, train yourself in discipline because discipline is freedom. Now repeat after me. I don't wait for motivation. I build discipline. I show up no matter what. Remember this, motivation is the spark, but discipline is the engine, and engines win races, not sparks. Chapter 5. Turning pain into power. Pain is something everyone tries to avoid. But here's a secret most people don't realize. Pain can either break you or it can build you. The difference lies in how you respond. Think about it. Every champion has a story of pain. Every success you admire is built on a foundation of struggle. Pain is not the end of your journey. It's the raw material that shapes your strength? Let me share a story. When J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, wrote her first book, she was rejected by 12 publishers. She was broke, depressed, and struggling as a single mother. That was pain. But she kept writing, kept believing. She turned that pain into a magical world that inspired millions. Today, she is one of the most successful authors in history. If she had let pain stop her, the world would never know Harry Potter. Here's another one. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. 27 years! Most people would come out bitter, broken, and defeated. But Mandela turned his pain into power. Instead of hate, he chose forgiveness. Instead of revenge, he chose unity. His pain became the foundation of freedom for an entire nation. Now think about your own life. Maybe your pain comes from failure, maybe from heartbreak, maybe from rejection. You can let that pain define you or refine you. You can choose to stay stuck in the story of why me, or you can rise and say, because of this I am stronger. Because of this I will not quit. Because of this I will win. So how do you turn pain into power? 3 steps. Acknowledge it. Don't hide it. Pain ignored becomes poison. Pain accepted becomes purpose. Learn from it. Ask, what is this teaching me? What strength am I gaining from this struggle? Channel it. Put your pain into action, into work, into art, into growth. Transform it into something that fuels you, not destroys you. Remember, diamonds are made under pressure. Muscles are built by resistance. Trees grow stronger against the wind. And you, yes, you, are built through the storms you face. I want you to say this with me. My pain will not break me. My pain will build me. I turn my pain into power. Because here's the truth. Winners are not people who live without pain. Winners are people who use pain as the fire that keeps them moving forward until they win. Chapter 6. The Mirror of Self-Belief. Stand in front of a mirror. Look into your own eyes. What do you see? Most people see flaws. They see mistakes, failures, imperfections. They say to themselves, I'm not smart enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not worthy. And that is why they never win. Not because they aren't capable, but because they don't believe they are. Here's the truth. The world treats you the way you treat yourself. If you see weakness, the world will see weakness. If you see strength, the world will see strength. Belief is the lens that colors your entire life. Let me share a story. There was a young man named Jim Carrey. Before he became a famous actor, he was broke, struggling, and living out of his car. But he believed in himself so deeply that he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered. He dated it for 10 years in the future. He carried that check in his wallet, believing one day it would come true. Years later, after starring in blockbuster films, he was paid exactly $10 million for a single role. His belief created his reality. Another example, Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Reporters asked him, "How did you keep going after so many failures?" He said, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. I discovered 1,000 ways that don't work." That is self-belief in action. So how do you build belief in yourself? Affirm your worth. Every morning, look in the mirror and say, I am capable. I am enough. I will win. It may feel silly at first, but your mind listens to your words. Collect small wins. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, waking up on time, finishing a task, you strengthen your belief. Confidence is built by consistency. See the future you. Visualize the person you want to become. Speak to yourself as if you are already that person, because, in a way, you are. Remember this: belief is not about never doubting. Belief is choosing to keep going, even when doubts are loud. Now, I want you to say this with me. I believe in myself. I am enough as I am. I will win because I refuse to quit. Look into the mirror of self-belief every day, because the day you truly see your own power is the day the world starts seeing it too. And that, my friend, is the beginning of winning.
Chapter 7. The Power of Saying No. We are taught from childhood that saying yes is polite. We say yes to invitations, yes to obligations, yes to people who drain us, yes to things we don't even want, and slowly we forget the most important yes, the yes to ourselves. Here's the truth. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve your purpose, you are saying no to something that does. Winning in life is not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things. And that requires the courage to say no. Let me tell you a story. Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful investors, once said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." He understood that his time and energy were limited. By saying no to distractions, he said yes to his vision. Another example. Think of Steve Jobs. When he returned to Apple, the company was producing hundreds of products. Jobs cut them down to just a handful. He said no to the noise, no to unnecessary distractions, and focused only on products that could change the world. That no built the iPhone, the iPad, and the Mac we know today. Now, let's make it personal. Maybe for you, saying no means refusing to spend hours scrolling on social media when you could be learning a new skill. Maybe it means saying no to people who constantly discourage you. Maybe it means saying no to comfort so you can say yes to growth. So how do you master the power of no? Know your priorities. If you don't know what matters, everything will seem urgent. Write down your top 3 priorities in life and measure every request against them. Pause before you answer. You don't need to give an instant yes. Take a moment, ask yourself, does this align with my purpose? If not, it's a no. Understand that no is not selfish. Saying no is not rejection, it's redirection. You are not shutting people out. You are making space for what truly matters. Here's a simple truth. Every no to distraction is a yes to your destiny. Now, I want you to say this with me. I am not afraid to say no. I protect my time and my energy. Every no brings me closer to my win. Remember this. You cannot win if you are trying to please everyone. Winners are not the people who do everything. They are the people who do the right things. And that begins with the power of saying no. Chapter 8. Rising After Failure. Failure. The word alone makes people afraid. But let me tell you a secret. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the path to success. Nobody wins without falling first. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall hundreds of times. But do they stop? Number. They get up, try again, and one day they walk. That is the purest lesson in resilience. Falling is part of the process. Let me share a story. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, once said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Another example, Henry Ford. Before building the Ford Motor Company, he had 2 failed businesses. People laughed at him, called him a dreamer, but he refused to stay down. His comeback changed the world of transportation forever. Now, let's make it personal. How many times have you tried something, failed once, and given up? Maybe you applied for a job and got rejected. Maybe you started a project that didn't work. Maybe you set a goal and stumbled, and then you said, "Maybe this isn't for me." Here's the truth. The only real failure is quitting. Everything else is a lesson. So how do you rise after failure? Redefine it. Stop calling it failure, call it feedback. Every setback is information. It shows you what doesn't work so you can find what does. Detach from shame. Failing does not make you a failure, it makes you human. The most successful people are the ones who dared to fail the most. Stand up faster. Don't stay down too long. The quicker you rise, the quicker you grow. Let me leave you with a picture. Imagine a boxer in the ring. He gets knocked down. The crowd cheers against him. His opponent raises his hands, but then, slowly, he stands. His eyes are bruised, his body hurts, but he lifts his gloves and says, "I'm not done yet." That's the spirit of rising after failure. Now repeat after me. Failure is not final. I rise every time I fall. Every setback prepares me for my comeback. Remember this, falling is inevitable. Rising is a choice. And the ones who choose to rise again and again are the ones who win. Chapter 9, Future Self-Calling. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. Where are you? What do you look like? What life are you living? Now let me ask you something. Is that future version of you proud of the choices you're making today? Or are they disappointed that you wasted time, energy, and potential? Here's the truth. Your future self is calling you every single day, and the question is, are you listening? Let me share a story. There was a man named Dwayne Johnson. Today, the world knows him as The Rock, a global superstar. But before fame, he had only $7 in his pocket. He could have given up, but instead, he imagined his future self, the successful man he wanted to be. He worked relentlessly toward that vision, one step at a time. That future version pulled him forward. Today, he often says, "I will never forget the day I had only $7. That day built the man I am now." Another example, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Before becoming a Hollywood icon, he was a young man in Austria with a strange dream, becoming the world's greatest bodybuilder. Everyone laughed at him, but Arnold imagined his future self, holding trophies, starring in films, achieving greatness. That vision guided every decision he made. His future self became his compass. Now let's bring this to you. Every action you take today is either a gift or a burden to your future self. When you exercise, save money, learn, and grow, you're giving your future self power. When you procrastinate, waste time, and ignore your potential, you're handing your future self regret. So how do you align with your future self? Visualize clearly. Don't just dream, see it. Picture where you live, how you feel, what you've achieved. Make it vivid. Ask daily. Before making a decision, ask, will this help or hurt my future self? This question alone can change your life. Become the bridge. Realize that your habits, your focus, your discipline, these are the bridge between the present you and the future you. Here's something powerful. Every great person you admire didn't just live for today, they lived for the tomorrow they could see. So now repeat after me. I listen to my future self. I am building the life I deserve. My choices today create my victory tomorrow. Remember this, the future you's not a stranger. They are waiting, watching, hoping you don't quit. Don't let them down. Answer the call. Focus on you until you win.